Andy, this is Josh Dobson. You probably don't remember me. Met you in Rochester. I just want to call you, see if this was your real number. I'm going to send you a cockpit to confirm. All right. All right. You have a good night. Bye.
I can't believe I still have to leave messages like this. I was hoping you would answer. It's Schwartz. Listen, I was just talking to Mara, and she is thankfully the coolest and has the best sense of humor. And so you get away with certain things with her. But as a reminder, you can't ask the people who help you and work so hard for you about their personal sex life. And I understand you asked her if her and her husband have phone sex when they are not together. And I'm sort of just scratching my head like, who fucking asks that question to people, let alone an adult? Yeah, man, inside voice. Sometimes all the thoughts in your head don't need to come out of your mouth. Talk to you soon.
Okay, now we can start. Andy's done with his fucking fancy basketball shit. It's fucking 6 and 8.
I'm 10-4, bitch.
Oh, you're good.
And we're back. Andy Frasco's World Series.
I'm so annoyed with you right now.
We're
back though.
Yeah, at night. This is why we don't do podcasts at night.
I like it though.
You're a night person.
I'm all times a day person, buddy. It's always going.
You're so fucking stupid. And we're back. Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast. I'm Andy Frasco. How's your heads? How's your hearts? It's late night. I never do podcasts at night. I'm normally waking them up. I'm waking them up with a podcast. I'm waking my brain up with a podcast.
Yeah,
so
it's different.
We're drinking. Cheers.
We're having a little
Let's
drink.
fucking go. Let's have a little cocktail.
We're having a little vodka.
I'm having whiskey.
Deep Eddies. Lemon.
People have been giving me whiskey bottles to test out. I think they want to, they don't want Jameson to have all the love.
I get it. It's a competitive industry.
Is it? Alcohol?
I don't know.
I guess the mafia owned it.
Probably. It's got to be competitive.
Really?
Everything is.
These guys haven't paid us yet, so I'm going to put this way.
And this is for the people who haven't paid. It's the guest list whiskey over there.
Speaking of people who've paid us, Repsy. Hey.
Oh, we're going early with the ad this time. I like
Let's
it.
go early.
Yeah.
Bands.
Turn them to the front. Turn that label, the Repsy label, out. Whatever that is. You're on the guest list. Label in.
We got to show love to the people who've loved us since the beginning. Repsy.com. Bands, go sign up for Repsy.com. Entertainers, MCs,
Comedians.
DJs, comedians, jugglers. I wish magicians.
Tarot card readers.
I wish I go on the Repsy website and there's a magician.
Might just hire a magician to hang out.
I would too.
I love close-up magic.
Especially like if they're booking a frat house.
Or just
I would love to have
card tricks, right?
Yeah, if I was, do you think like college kids would be like obnoxious about the jokes, or do you think they'd pay attention? Like,
yeah, I'm sure they'd be obnoxious. They're obnoxious people.
Like all college people?
Anyone under 25 is pretty obnoxious, right? Have you been on the internet?
I like young kids.
Anyway, Repsy. I like them, but they're obnoxious. I mean, I'm obnoxious.
I think college kids now are way more chill and way more smarter than we were.
100%. We were way more obnoxious.
Yeah, I remember like not going to school, not just like getting. Never mind.
I did a lot of stuff. I should.
Yeah, I was drinking. Like at 19, I was at the bar. I mean, everyone had fake IDs, but like I felt like some of these college kids are a little chiller.
I killed a man.
So maybe that's why when you killed a man.
Yeah, freshman year of college, ran over him in the middle of the night, threw his body in a ditch. No one ever. It was kind of like
is it Statute of Limitations, like that voyeur
I think it's,
movie?
Yeah, it's been 75 years, so yeah, I think it's good.
So sign up for Repsy.com.
Sign up for Repsy.
And get your band out there. Your agent needs all the help they could get. There's a lot of things going on. So, Repsy.com, sign your band up. Speaking of that.
Speaking of things going on, let's talk about...
I didn't do shit today.
But what did you do last weekend?
Everything.
I had a good weekend, too.
I stayed up till 6 a.m. on Monday. I went on
Sunday, I thought.
That was Sunday after Dragon Deer.
And then
I guess it's Tuesday, so yeah.
And you watched the Bills game. What did you do Saturday?
Saturday. What did I do? What did we do Saturday, Bo?
I played with Menor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we recovered
because you were too hungover from the most ridiculous.
I threw a fucking party. Oh, the dance party.
The most ridiculous thing I've ever been to in my life.
How long did you stay for?
I don't know. At least 45 minutes of it. I think
I had
left
so
after
much
11.
fun.
What time did you guys play till? 12 something?
We played till 2. Sleepy played a 4-hour set. Shout out to DJ Sleepy. Scott Morrill. 4 hours.
I thought
working hard.
I thought it was over at midnight.
Hell no. He's like
said that on the sheet.
He's like, we're gonna keep going.
So that's why I left. I'm so glad I left when I did. But
400,000 people watched it.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's crazy. Did you like it?
Did I like it?
I'm so worried about your type of people coming to that show.
Okay, first of all, what do you mean your type of people?
Just like super like band school musicians.
Band school.
Or what do you call it?
It sounds like a National Lampoon's movie title.
You know, just like, I can't believe there's 400 people in here watching this shit.
I get that, and there is some of that there. There's a tinge of it. Okay, so here's what it is. You walk in, I just came from the Nuggets game, actually, with Salkin. So I was already just a little bit ready, a little bit over the night. You know, It's like a long time to go to an NBA game. It's so bright.
You make me nervous when you're backstage and I'm like putting on a fucking one-piece outfit.
You go. The first thing he said, I swear to God, verbatim. I wrote this down on my phone. You go, I'm Mike Tyson in this bitch.
I did not say that.
I was like, I swear to God, he said that.
I was getting hyped up because that shit makes me more nervous than playing shows.
Yeah, it should, because it's ridiculous what you're doing.
Why?
I mean, I'm not saying I don't like it. So here's the thing. Yes, I understand why you would think I wouldn't like it. And on some level,
I love it.
I don't look at it as a musical performance, though.
Okay.
I look at it as an entertainment thing. So it doesn't bother me as much.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that you're dying inside a little bit as you do it.
Why? I like doing it. I've done it for 30 weeks.
But it's awkward.
It is awkward, especially doing it in front of a crowd. Normally, we're just getting high at Scott's house, and it was just us.
I thought the crowd was going to make it worse, but it didn't.
No.
Well, I never went to it at Scott's, but like I thought it was going to be bad because there's a crowd there, and it was bad, but like it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But everybody's having a good time, so it's so hard to.
Did you make videos?
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. But I want to say, what's up with all the costumes?
It's a costume party.
So that's the thing. The first thing, when I walk in with Salkin, I go right to the green room, okay? Because that's what I do at Cervantes. I'm not trying to be amongst the gen pop, you know?
Like I am.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're the opposite.
Yeah.
So I go in it looks like you're doing a high school production of Hair, but it's also a bachelorette party, okay? Down there. There's like... First of all, 10 girls I've never seen before in my life at Cervantes.
So many beautiful women at that
I like
show.
it, but there's
really?
So here's this. I did have a revelation that all these people were stuck in their houses, and you're making them happy.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Were you proud of me?
Proud of you for what? Like pull up that picture of him in the gold. Or not the one with Doloff in the beginning. It's just like him wearing the outfit. You're asking me if I'm proud of you? Hold on.
What?
Gold outfit. Yeah, hit that one. How can I... You want me? Hit play. How can I possibly be proud of you?
What?
Look at that. Where did you get that?
Someone put it on me.
How did someone even get that over your body?
Dude, I was getting naked on stage.
It looks like a condom.
look, dude.
What time do you think that
I look
was
like
at?
my body looks like an hourglass.
You look like the guy who's not allowed in the club, like at Studio 54 in 1979. Because he's too drunk and too ugly. Like, you look like you got that hat on a cruise ship.
Oh man, I was so happy. I was having fun. It was a fun time.
I'm not saying you're having fun. I'm saying I'm not proud of this. You're well into your 30s.
Oh my
Andy.
God, I called Brian last night or yesterday. We had a conference call. Brian, I'm like,
wait.
I wanna do this more. He's like, what? Dance?
And Brian, if you're watching or listening, turn it off. Come back in about a minute, maybe longer. I don't know how long I'm going to put him for this.
Damn, I was all jacked up here, ripping on the. What is this?
This is the best video of the night. This is right. I think I was already left when this happened.
I was lit. I don't even remember.
Okay, first of all, Dolov was like this for the whole time. Okay.
It was so lit.
Benign, fun. Everybody having a good time. What is up with Dolov? He need a bottle of blood. Okay, here we go.
We're giving out mushrooms. it's Scotty's
They're
birthday.
decriminalized here, guys. Go back. Okay. No, go back a little bit. Go back. Look at Scott's face. Look at Scott's face right when you say that. Pause right when he says it.
We're giving out mushrooms. Anyone want one?
Look at my little dick, dude. Look like a thumbnail,
Why are your
dude.
balls 3 times bigger than your dick?
Because I haven't done anything with them.
Dude, they should make a movie about your dick.
Look at damn.
He
My
looks mad. Just so people know, Scott owns the club where he said this.
Look at Scott.
So
I'm
anyway,
like,
that's
we're
what
giving
Andy
out
does
drugs. At his
So anyway, you guys paid Andy's mortgage and he did this.
Scotty's birthday. You want one?
Here you go. Here's a crime on video. I don't think it's a crime here. It's decrimmed.
It's decrimmed in Denver. Shout
Yeah.
out to that.
Look at Mikey Thunder. He's just always laying in the cut.
Why is my balls bigger
Why do
than
you
my
have more
dick?
money than me? Your net worth probably went down $300 just from that video.
I had so much fun. Maybe I was just high.
No one said you weren't having fun.
Everyone said it was the time of their lives.
I know, but oftentimes things that a lot of people like are very bad.
You got any more videos? Dolov was lit too. Do you have pictures of Dolov?
Doloff wakes up lit.
I know.
Oh yeah, is there? And I think there's one more picture of Doloff.
Let me see it. Dude. We are having so much fun. I love this town. No other town will let me do that. Have a dance party
That's not
like that.
true. You're probably gonna do it on the road now. It's probably gonna be a thing.
No, I don't think so.
Your bands have to start looking for new jobs
I
because
don't
you're doing
think
this.
so.
I'm just kidding. Oh, it was fun.
It was fun.
Good time. Makes people happy. Blah blah blah.
You want any more thing to drink?
I'm good right now.
Oh man.
So that was your weekend.
That was my But you know, like I'm afraid to sit in. That's like I feel like that's my sit in.
What, your own show for 4 hours?
I don't do that like that. That was
Didn't you have
old
people
Frasco
sitting-
shows
Yeah.
were like that.
What do you mean?
Just crazy. Just I wasn't
bar
really
shows?
singing like eight years ago when I was playing the frat houses and shit.
You just run around the whole time and
Just
talk?
run around and talk and
And your band would just be like playing where the fuck they want?
no, they'd play the same song. We just
Well, yeah,
do it
but
for like 10 minutes. I just like to tell them to turn down so I could talk. And I
People-
was high on cocaine and
And
shit.
people enjoyed this?
I mean, enough to like at least give me a chance to get serious about it.
Do you feel like they started enjoying you more when you stopped doing this? And
When I
more of the
stopped
show?
doing that and did more of
music?
music,
People
and-
still like music.
yeah.
Like people wouldn't go see that once a month, I don't think. Would you think in Denver maybe?
I mean, I've had so many people ask me to do this all the time.
Our culture is dying.
I've had hundreds and hundreds of people.
What do you think it is that people like so much about it?
That is just a dance party. There's no. It's
But there's so many dance parties all the time. What is specific to this one?
because I feel like I'm the type of person who's gonna break the glass.
So it's about you.
No, I'm good at breaking the glass, so fans feel like they're part of the show.
They are part of the show. Half of them are on stage.
Yeah, but even on our show, like when I talk and connect with the crowd.
Yeah, that's true. You're very good at connecting people.
Mm-hmm.
You're very much like Jim Jones kind of cult leader.
Jim is so good at it.
I mean, you got like 800 people to drink Kool-Aid, you know?
I mean, he's got like thousands of people drinking Kool-Aid.
He's dead. They're dead. They all died. You know who Jim Jones is?
Oh, I thought you were talking about James Jones. Who's the guy from My
Jim
Morning
Jones, the cult
Jacket?
leader.
Oh no, I'm
thinking-
talking Jim Jones. James, what's his guy from My Morning Jacket? He's a cult.
Jim James.
Jim James got a cult. My Morning Jacket
Yes.
is culty.
You know?
I signed up to Bumble.
What's Bumble? Is that one of the dating apps?
Yeah,
How are you not already on Bumble? You're on Raya.
I'm on. No, I'm not on.
You're not on Raya anymore?
I'm not really on Raya.
They can't handle you there, huh?
It doesn't work. Everyone is too hot, and
Yeah.
they're
You're
not
quite
fucking
famous
with.
enough, are you?
Yeah, they're not
You're like
fucking
not
with
hot
me.
enough or famous enough or rich enough, you know?
Yeah, I was like, oh,
You gotta be
fuck
one of the
around.
three.
Go on Bumble, see what's
You're
up.
a little bit of each.
What?
You're probably a catch on Bumble.
No,
Really?
no.
Childless?
I'm not a catch.
Why?
People are scared of me.
Scared of you?
Just like I'm just such an open book on these podcasts, and I'm just an open book, and I'm just talking about everything, like
How's that scary?
cum drawer and shit.
cum drawer. You did talk about that and put it in a promo.
Yeah, I put it in a promo.
So I guess we'll be getting sued.
I don't know.
You're not a catch. You're young. You own a place. No kids. You got a Porsche, kind of.
Yeah.
In a way, you know.
Yeah.
You drive a Porsche around, you know.
I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe people are trying to
definitely
get my attention, and I'm just not seeing it.
You don't have to like every girl that likes you. You know that, right?
I know. Well, I don't know that yet.
I think that's like how you usually judge people on how much they like you, right? The more they like you, the more you like them.
No, because you didn't like me at first, and I loved you.
I liked you.
No, you didn't.
I just didn't. What? What do you mean? No, I didn't like you.
I thought you were just like in the beginning, like
no. One time your band. No. I was not like that. One time your band opened for my band, and our tour manager caught someone in your band, not you, talking shit about my band during our set.
Oh, Turbo Suit?
Yeah,
I remember that. I was there.
Yeah, but I don't think you were talking shit. But I think someone was. It was like when you guys didn't understand how computers worked yet, and you guys were like, hated every computer band. And you were talking shit.
And
about
we were
that.
we were probably talking shit about that.
Yeah, every band talks shit about every other band though.
Sorry
for using Wi-Fi. What?
I want to apologize.
It's fine. I'm not even mad about it.
Now that I've gotten older and realized
It's a valid art form.
the art, because we do have Fatboy Slim on the show.
Also, after your dance party shit, I don't think you have any room to make fun of people playing their own tracks that they mixed and mastered.
I don't make fun of those people anymore since I've done the podcast. Before, yeah.
Also, but look at you now. You know what I mean?
know. I was jealous.
You've gone exactly. There it is.
I was jealous.
We're all jealous.
We're all jealous
of Grizz. Okay. If you
I'm
live
not
in Denver,
jealous of Grizz.
No, he's great though.
But
he's huge.
He's huge.
And he's like the nicest guy ever.
Because I didn't know Grizz before I was jealous person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you didn't know who he was.
Those people didn't make me jealous.
You had already figured it out.
Floozies made me jealous.
But they're the shit. Have you ever hung out with them? They're like the funniest guys.
Yeah, totally. But this was back in the day. We're talking 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, maybe like 8, but yeah.
10 years ago. So it's like
7,
fucking
whatever.
Decade ago. I was just jealous because that was...
You were in like that phase of your life too.
Yeah, and I was fucking grinding it out at bars and fucking sleeping
so were we. Even though we have a computer, we're still grinding it out.
I know.
The computer doesn't drive the van.
I know, but I just was so self-absorbed.
Yeah.
And it was whatever it was, because I was on drugs and I was on everything.
I don't know if you were on cocaine then.
Oh, I was.
You just hit it?
I just hit it. From the ambassador of the UN, I would like to apologize for that person.
Apology accepted. Now let's move on.
Hell yeah. That's peace. See? We're going to live great.
Fatboy Slim.
We're going to listen to Fatboy Slim.
Great. The opposite of that. His music is very uplifting. Did you go to the show?
It was so fun and happy, and his interview was amazing. I mean, he was the biggest artist in late 90s. The biggest.
Dude, he won like the more MTV Video Awards than anyone in 2002 or 3. I can't remember.
He was a big alcoholic, he said.
Really?
Yeah, the interview's great. I think I did a good job. I did all right job.
I like those Brits. He's from the same town as my mom in England.
Really?
On Wikipedia, like recorded in South London.
Yeah, shout out. Thanks for briefing me.
A brief.
Big Daddy.
Underwear.
All right, we're done. We've been talking too much.
That's fun. People like it when we get a little loose.
Should I get off of Bumble?
I don't even know, man. Why don't we just make this one its own podcast? I'm just kidding, but we should look at your Bumble and check it out.
You want to see it?
Yeah. We can't show the people though.
But you can read it.
Let me see some of these. What's the dating pool like here?
I don't really get a lot. Oh, I got a couple.
Oh, any messages? Or you?
The cool thing about Bumble is like I don't have to like approach them.
That's the one where it's like you can only like them if they like you first or something. Is that it?
Yeah. You want to see my hair?
It's designed for women to have the power.
I put the picture of the dance party.
Oh God. Hey, I'm famous.
No, I didn't put anything. I'm famous.
Oh, do you have like a profile?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Something I learned way later than I should. How good the Kinks were.
I like the Kinks.
The band. I thought you were talking about like sexual kinks.
No.
I thought you were saying like,
oh fuck, I gotta change that so people don't think I'm a
They
creep.
probably think you like want to get choked and stuff.
Oh.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but you might not want to put it right there, right away. in Bumble.
Damn. All right, let me change that.
Okay,
now.
I'm not done reading your shit yet, bro.
Right.
I doubt anyone's. You're not that important. Okay, you're not. Like I gotta do it now before the government sees it. All right. I'm still not over that Rose didn't. Oh my God, Rose didn't let Leo lay on that huge. You are such a weirdo. You're like, how do I appeal to 32-year-old women? Titanic. That's it. Titanic. My bio. I'm Andy. I play music.
This is a bad idea.
Oh my God, this is the most millennial profile I've ever read in my life. You know what? You know what would only make this thing more millennial is if you mentioned Betty White. Let's read your bio. I'm Andy. I play music and talk to people for a living. And ever since Betty White passed, been looking for a baddie to fill the void. Exercise sometimes? Okay. Education level in college. Drink socially? Okay. I guess that's true since you go out 7 nights a week.
I'm crying.
You smoke socially? I'm not going to touch that one. Cannabis socially? Yeah. Looking for don't know yet? Definitely true. Star sign Aquarius? Okay.
I got to change the kink one.
Yeah.
I like the kinks, though.
Something I learned later than I should have.
What should I say?
What is something you learned really late in your life?
That, you can't always get what you want, but you try sometimes.
I don't really know the words.
Me
Get what you need.
Get what you need.
Yeah, you need something super corny to match all your other stuff.
Shut the
All right, we're done.
Hold on. What should I change it to? All right, let's do this off air. All right.
Put my floofer doggo. I love floofy doggos.
Have a great day. I can't believe we just.
Such
that's
a
so
millennial.
Embarrassing. I'm such a millennial.
I'm so embarrassed that you're my friend and then that you have that millennial. Come on, dude. You have too much personality.
I know.
God.
I'm deleting this right now.
Yeah.
I hate this. All right, have a good day. I'm going to delete this. Next up on the interview hour, we got Fatboy Slim. Fatboy Slim, one of the best producers, DJs on the planet, came over to the house. We talked about his life. We talked about everything, and I'm just honored that he came over and fucking came. It was the first thing he did when he came to America was come to Frasco's house, and that makes me happy. So, ladies and gentlemen, Chris, play a little bit of that Fatboy, and enjoy this next interview with Norman Cook, a.k.a. Fatboy Slim.
Norman fucking Cook. I've never been referred to in those terms before. I like it. Norman
How you doing?
Fucking Cook. Yeah, I'm good. How you doing?
How you doing through the quarantine? What was your process like? What were you going through?
Well, I cleverly had COVID in the beginning of December.
Let's go. I'll clap to it. Get it out. Get it out of the way. I got work to do.
Yeah.
Shit.
But then my daughter got it the night before I came here. My daughter got it again for the second time.
Oh,
so it's a little bit worrying. So we just had to take one test. Things are. We spent the last 6 months kind of just evading different countries' rules. And
is the UK more strict about it all?
No, we've got a government that doesn't seem to care that much about whether we live or die, frankly. So, no, I mean, we've been open since July. I've been doing shows in the UK since July, but then in Europe, we've got kind of countries open and we play a show and then it shuts again 2 weeks later. So we've just been ducking and diving around what we're allowed to do and what we feel comfortable doing. Obviously, I sort of take the responsibility of not being, a one-man super spreader.
Yeah, same. But we did 100 dates I'm in a band as well, and we did 100 shows during the quarantine. And it's like every state was so different with how their protocols are. It's like you go fucking mad. You don't understand what
you do. Well, Alan, my tour manager, has become a sort of a master of international COVID law.
Really?
He just spends all week just online finding out what we need to do for each different country.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a couple of countries. I mean, one, we played in Amsterdam and they'd only opened like on the Friday and we played on the Saturday. And then 2 weeks later, they shut again. So it's like these little windows.
Yeah, you get these little pockets like making money and go home,
But obviously, I mean, probably out of the shows I was supposed to do, I've only done about 3/4 of the ones because, you lose a few.
So, how you've been gigging. How many shows do you do a year, do you think?
Average about 70 a year, I think.
Yeah. Is that a good stable for you?
Yeah. For a man of my age, I think. I mean, the good thing about being a DJ is you don't have to go on tour for great lengths of time. You can just dip your toe. So I sort of play every other weekend. Also, I've got a single parent for half the time with my daughter, so I don't want to be away for too long. So I just go out every other weekend, play 3 shows, and then come back.
How old is your daughter?
She just turned 12.
Oh shit, this is new, fresh. Well,
no,
fresh
12 years fresh-ish.
Yeah, because like that's got to be tough. You got in a divorce with your wife, so you're a single parent.
Well, we share her. We do like half the time. But
so she lives in the same town as you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And we're still friends. It's all amicable, but kind of in terms of just my responsibility for my daughter, I don't like going away for 2-3 weeks at a time.
Yeah. And, and that's good. I mean, you found your routine. Was there ever a time where your routine was you're overworked?
Oh, yes.
What years were they?
Most of the 90s.
Tell me about it.
Well, between a kind of insatiable desire to party and an insatiable appetite for party favors, I kind of rocked my way through most of the 90s.
What was your drug of choice back then?
Ecstasy was my favorite, yeah.
What did you like about it?
It just made me feel very happy and loved up, and I was able to solve the world's problems and tell everybody that I loved them.
Yeah, until it's 8 a.m. And
Well, no, then I'd just carry on. Well, no, I'd wake up. I still love them. I mean, when I woke up, that was the nicest thing about it. But yeah, so I kind of, and also, but it was like having been in bands and having been DJing was always kind of a hobby. During the 90s, being a DJ became like a job.
Right.
And we were suddenly these superstars and we could travel all over the world and do stuff. So I was a bit like a kid in a candy store.
Tell me about that transition when it wasn't like the biggest thing and all of a sudden you get thrown into this like stardom. Was that what you've always wanted or?
I don't know about stardom. I always wanted to work in the music. I've always loved music and always wanted to work in the music business. When I started out, the route to do that was to be in a band. So I was in bands.
You're a bass player, right?
Yeah. And so I was in bands, but all the time I had this hobby, which was DJing, because I was like a vinyl junkie and I had all the records and I enjoyed playing them to people. But it was like in those days, DJing was a hobby. You know, you didn't get paid enough I used to work in a record shop and I'd DJ 5 nights a week and I still had to do a day job to fund my habit.
So you said, fuck it, I'm going to play the bass.
Well, no, that was how you made records, how you sold records, how you made a career. So the DJing bit was always just a hobby. And we were, in those days, like the DJ was just above the glass collector in the food chain of nightclubs.
Really?
You know? Yeah, in terms of how much we got paid and how seriously we were
How much were you making back then?
I get £10 a night.
Shut the fuck up. That's it?
Yeah. You get £10 a night and you'd only play in your own city. You'd never travel and play anywhere else because you couldn't afford the train fare.
Yeah.
You know, what you got paid wouldn't cover it. So, DJing was a hobby. And then after about 15 years of being in bands, but still keeping my hobby going, all of a sudden the thing that I really loved doing the most and probably arguably was better at suddenly became a full-time job. And that was kind of, it was sort of late in my career. I was in my mid-30s by then. Yeah. And I'd been playing in bands and all of a sudden it's like, rather than, schlepping around playing bands with people you may or may not like and,
exactly.
All of a sudden you just...
We're going solo!
Yeah, all of a sudden... more people want to come hear me play records than see my band. And it was like this sort of light bulb moment. Yeah. Like I finally arrived. After 15 years, I've worked out how to do this. But it was all to do with the fact that dance music and DJ culture suddenly became this big thing. And because I'd been doing it for 20 years, I had the chops and
you were ready.
I was straight in there. Bang in there.
Before we talk about the DJ culture, I want to talk about the band culture. You were in this band for 10 years.
I was in various bands.
Yeah. So what was the big band that got a label or got a label or any of them? Yeah.
I started in a band called the House Minds.
Yeah.
And for the first sort of 3-4 years of my career, and I mean we were big in England and Europe. Didn't do much in America. Then I was in a band called Beats International, and then I was in a band called Freak Power.
Yeah.
And all of them we had hits in Europe and.
So what's the difference between, were you making a living in your 20s? Yeah. So you're doing it, but you're still DJing for your hobby, playing it.
I would do that, yeah. I mean, a lot of time, in a lot of places when we were on tour, we would play the gig and then someone would say, oh, do you want to come and play at our club afterwards?
Yeah.
So I used to carry my records around with me and I used to go and get DJ slots after the gig.
Holy shit. So you like working?
I I don't consider playing music work.
Okay, yeah.
Frankly.
Or like, you like filling your time, all your time with music.
I'm immersed in music and I enjoy it. But also, I'm a bit of a show off.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. Yeah,
it's okay.
I'm a performer.
Yeah.
And
who taught you that part of you?
I don't know. My parents had a sense of humor, but I don't think they were the same consummate show-offs that I am. I don't know. It's just a gene in me somewhere.
Yeah.
So so I've always been a performer, and I've always loved music. So it's no brainer really that a career in the music business is all I've really wanted to do, and also all I've been, the only kind of talent I have.
So who are your first inspirations in music? Who got you like really falling in love with music as a kid?
As a kid, it was the Beatles. I was born in 1963, which is when the Beatles started. And so I literally grew up listening to their music, and my parents loved them. So I grew up with the Beatles, and then I came of age during punk rock, and that's when I started playing in bands, and that was great because it kind of freed it all up. And then after punk rock, I just fell in love with like soul music and funk music and black music. And then around that time, hip hop started. So I loved hip hop. So that was kind of my three big influences were kind of English pop music, like the Beatles, the attitude of punk rock, kind of, let's rip up the rule book, and the funk of black music.
Did you ever get to see the Beatles live in like smaller venues?
No, only in my mind.
I'm just kidding. So tell me about like living in London and stuff.
I don't.
Well, as a kid, weren't you living in East London?
No.
Oh, this is
I was born
in Bromley,
there.
Kent?
Yeah, I was born there, but I only lived there for 2 years, so I don't remember a huge amount about it.
Then where's Surrey?
Surrey is south of London.
South of London.
Yeah.
And then what?
It's like suburbs.
Were you a sports fan? Did you like soccer or football?
I didn't in those days because the local team was a shite.
What were they called?
They're called Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows about English soccer knows that they're just the scum of the earth.
So what about their fan base?
Well, they're the scum of the earth too, which is why I couldn't really get into them.
Yeah, because I'm deep into sports, and I feel like football culture for the fan bases is really close to like when you fall in love with your favorite band.
Yeah. Well, I came I fell in love late in life. So I grew up in Surrey, and then I moved to Brighton when I was 18 to go to college, and that was when I fell in love with Brighton and Hove Albion. And then over the years, I've gone from being a fan to we were shirt sponsors. Our record label was shirt sponsors for 9 years, and then I was a director. I put some money into the club. So yeah, the Brighton and Hove Albion very close to my heart.
I kind of want to talk about that because I've always wanted to like even have a partial ownership in a sports team. How much control of anything do you have? Or are you just like the money?
Absolutely none.
No.
There's a few things about it. At one point I did technically have kind of boardroom decisions, but I just gave my vote to the chairman of the board because I didn't want that responsibility of like, who do we get as the next manager? I didn't want it coming back on me. I don't know. So I abdicated any kind of responsibility about decision making. And then in terms of investment, as my accountant said when I told him I was going to do it, he said, this is an investment of the heart rather than the head, isn't it? Because I knew there's no way in hell that I would ever get the money back. So no, I just had to bail out the team because we were skint. We had no money.
Yeah. What was it? Why'd you do in the first place? Did you just?
Because we were shirt sponsors, so we were kind of involved with the with the people who ran the team, and they basically blackmailed me. We had a great player. And the boss took me out for lunch and laid on how we were going to have to sell him because we had no money. And then he said, unless somebody like yourself were to put a cash injection, then we wouldn't have to sell Bobby Bazamora. And I was like, that sounds like blackmail. He went, call it what you want, dear boy. That's the situation. So,
oh my God.
Yeah. So I just bailed the club out so that we didn't go under. We didn't have to sell our best player.
So how many years were you there for?
Well, this was in about 2002, and I've still got all my shares in the club, but they're still not worth anything.
No, but is it still fun to go out there and feel like you own a piece of it?
Oh yeah, and the most fun thing was to have our name on the shirts, and everybody, it's like, I don't know, it's that thing of being part of your own home team. It's been a fabulous journey, and during that journey, we've gone from the very bottom of the 4 tiers of the league to we're in the Premier League now, which is great.
Let's fucking go. Let's go, dude. Hell yeah. What?
Actually, while we're talking about sports,
Yeah.
I've got a question for you.
Okay.
The Denver Nuggets.
Yes.
Right. If, say, a gawky suburban kid from England was to have to throw the first basket before a Denver Nuggets game, how would you approach that?
Oh, we'll talk to someone. I got you. Is that you?
That's me tomorrow night.
I got
yeah.
you. You want to go tomorrow?
No, that's what
You're
I'm doing.
doing that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Norman.
Yes.
That is so fucking
That's a good
sick.
thing, right?
It's so fun.
Good.
It's
fun, is it?
Do you watch basketball?
No. And I can't play it either.
No,
this is the problem.
Okay, this is even
Right.
better. This is
And I look shit in a wife beater.
oh my! You're gonna wear a Nuggets jersey too?
Well, they want me to, yeah. But I found, you see, jersey in England. This is a jersey in England. It's
Yeah.
like a long sleeve
Yeah,
woolly
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But a jersey for us, that's like it's a vest.
This is how you
which
get on
shows
World
off
Star,
your
though.
lack of shoulders and stuff like that. So I've got to stand there in front of all these people looking like a weedy, scrawny idiot, and I don't know how to hit the basket.
Oh my god! So this is a double-edged sword because if you really fuck up,
I was hoping
you're
you
gonna
would
be
say
on
that.
World Star.
What happens-
Fatboy Slim air balls half court shot.
Right, first of all, what's an air ball?
Air ball is when you don't even make the rim. So like even if you feel like it's gonna be too long, go longer and at least hit the backboard.
Okay, I don't even know what the backboard's the
It's the plastic behind the
plastic
rim.
bit, right. Okay, I'm just going to lust it as
Yeah,
hard as
you're
I
gonna
can.
have fun.
Yeah,
This is so
but I
exciting.
mean, how in terms of humiliation, how bad will it be if I just look like I can't play basketball at all?
I fuck them.
Fuck 'em, okay.
Let's go. Fuck them. We don't need them. That's so cool. Have you ever done anything like that? Like
No,
oh my god, it's gonna
never.
be a
And like I
blast.
said, I've never played basketball in my life, so I might be really good.
Oh, then you're good.
I might just slam
What if you
dunk
make
it or
that
whatever.
shit?
I might, yeah.
It's
make
a
it.
half court shot, so they'll give you two. They'll give you 2 times or 3 times.
Oh, I only want
so you're
one.
good.
I just want to do one and get it over with, frankly.
Because it's like a
So this is
timeout.
what this is like. It's from the free shot line, right?
It's from the half court, so it's half the court.
Oh, gee. What? Not from the halfway line.
So you're doing a free throw.
They said from the free throw line.
Oh, you're good. That's only 20 feet.
That's doable, right?
You're doable. You're
Okay.
good. You're good. We got you. Good juju's. Norman, you're gonna. This is.
Have you got a boo the English guy sound effect?
I got a mud.
That's probably what it's going to sound like.
Yeah, I love it. That's exciting. So, do you like coming back to America? Do you like touring in America, or is it kind of a pain in the ass?
I like it. Yeah, I mean, I've had a strange sort of career in America.
Tell me about it.
Well, until Fatboy Slim, I'd had 3 bands, and you patiently haven't heard of any of them.
Yeah, me,
And
dumb
so I
American.
was successful everywhere in the world apart
Sorry
from
about
America.
that, my
no, that's
ignorance.
right. Well, no, because we never did shit in America.
Yeah.
That's fine. You wouldn't have heard of us.
Yeah.
So, I've a lot of English bands. It's like when you get it really big in Europe, it's like
Right.
all you want to do is I want to crack America. I never really kind of had that desire, and America didn't seem to like us, so I was cool with that. But then with Fatboy Slim, all of a sudden, people like me over here, so I started coming
You
over.
were the biggest fucking thing out here,
And it was
dude.
great. It was great. It felt like we were bringing something different, even though I was quite aware that I was just regurgitating American music that I really loved and doing it my way, and in the way that the Beatles came back and sold stuff. And so I had a great time for about 5 years. We did some great shit. I played at Red Rocks here, and
So sick.
And it really felt like we were doing something. But then when I don't know, I kind of ran out of momentum, and then EDM came, and I didn't really feel part of that.
Yeah.
And I kind of lost my erection over America.
Yeah.
And it's quite hard work. It's such a big country. You have to come out here and work so much. And so it's been kind of lower on my list of priorities.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, like Brazil absolutely loved me. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll go to Brazil. Yeah.
Fuck America. We're going to Brazil,
I
baby.
wasn't going to say fuck America out loud.
I'll say it for you. That's
so
exciting.
So I haven't actually been here for 4 years. So tonight is my first. It's kind of like
This is your first show in America tonight?
for 4 years
At my buddy Scotty Morrill's venue.
Yeah.
You're
Which-
going, or you're doing Ogden tonight and
Ogden
then Cervantes.
tonight and Cervantes tomorrow.
This is so exciting.
And so so it's quite exciting. So it's like, what kind of love is there still here for me?
Yeah, we'll find
Do you
out.
mind that I went and cheated on you for the last 10 years?
Brazil. That Brazilian woman took our boy Fatboy.
She loved me. She loved me more. She loved me longer, and she was better looking. Frankly.
Well, I hope America gives you more attention these days. So I want to talk about that. That's very fascinating what you said about the EDM world. So when did like your style of music start changing into this like really heavy? It's like feels like metal music, EDM now.
I don't know. I mean, EDM. It was at the wrong end of the spectrum of house music or dance music or what we liked. And it's sort of based on the same kind of 4/4 principles, but it's not really the same thing for us.
Yeah.
It's just pop music using the beat from house music.
Right.
And I just never really felt a kinship, but because I'd kind of been doing crossover dance music immediately before it.
Yeah.
People thought that would be the next, and then tons of people that I was working with, like David Guetta and Swedish House Mafia, who'd been doing the same thing as me, they kind of went, but I just couldn't go with them on it. It was just too much like pop music. It was too commercial. It was too based around kind of hot tubs and women with big tits and over expensive bottles of vodka, you know.
It's like new age pop music, like you're saying.
Well, but even worse than that, it was like, for us, dance music was like a soulful thing about going into a dark, dingy room and sharing an experience with other people on the dance floor, and it was dirty and sexy. And this is just like, I want to show off how big my tits are and you know what car I drive and everything. And I'm not slagging it off. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah, totally. So it's just so fascinating to me because like, what years was it when EDM? Because it feels like authenticity is so important to you.
Yeah,
and you don't want to just play shit that.
No.
Do you think
I'm too old to do that? I'm too old to play shit just for the sake of it. And I've been going long enough. I don't need to do it for the money or the kudos or my ego or whatever. So I'm quite happy to, sort of stand back or just. But also another thing was, especially after the Fatboy Slim thing, out of all the things I've done, that was just kind of the biggest. And I finally broke America and everything like this. And it was like I was a little bit scared. Rather than like, this is it, I want more, I want world domination, I actually kind of felt like I wanted to take a step back.
What were you scared about?
Well, it was all become a bit unmanageable. And at the same time, I married a radio DJ in England and we became this sort of celebrity couple and tabloid fodder. And I just...
That wasn't you?
Yeah, it wasn't me, no.
Is that when you got into drugs heavy?
No, I was already doing that. No, that was all part of it. But then it was like I couldn't take drugs in public because there's people following me around taking pictures. And
what was the worst moment, like where you were super fucked up and they got you?
I never really got busted. I mean, the thing is, I outed myself because I just told her what I was doing. So like a drug story on me wasn't going to be a big scoop, you know. Right. It's like everyone they'd print. It's like everyone go and. No, it was more that for by then, for 15 years, I'd had a career in the music business where I had a degree of success that I was comfortable with. I had a degree of fame that was comfortable. But the only people who recognised me in the street and came up and said hello were people who liked me. Mm. And they go, oh, I went to your show. You know. Yeah. But then when you become like tabloid famous, everybody recognises you, whether they like you or not. Oh, that's the bit, worst. That's the bit I didn't like, was that people would just, shout wanker at me in the street.
Really?
And I was like, oh yeah, but they knew my name as well. So they knew my name and wanker. So, and
did you become like a recluse? Like, did you stay at home? Like, you didn't want to go
really,
out?
Not really, but I definitely took my foot off the gas in terms of my career.
Yeah. Do you regret that or no?
No, not at all. Because now, 15 years later, I'm still here and I'm still having fun. And I'm not at that level where it consumes your whole life. And I've managed to bring up 2 kids and managed to be around for a large chunk of their childhood, which I probably wouldn't have done if I was. And
still chasing some rabbit hole.
Yeah. And in the midst of it, I got sober as well. That had to be done 14 years ago.
Okay. So can we talk about that a little bit? So during the time of like getting sober, you're basically in the tabloids. Were you starting to have a worse relationship with your ex-wife, or like you said like everyone knew you, but like maybe the people that were so close to you weren't as close with?
I just wasn't enjoying it, and I was doing too much, and it was beginning to hurt. Yeah. And I was probably going to be doing myself damage and my relationship with my wife damage, and I kind of had enough.
Do you remember the moment that you felt broke down? Can you tell me that story?
No, just Just
Was it a show or something? You weren't even having fun?
No, I was just sitting around at home, and my wife just went, "Shame on you."
Oh fuck!
And at that moment, I was like, "Actually, I am ashamed of myself." And also, I thought that this is going to affect our relationship. You know, you're now getting pissed off with me, and so I didn't want to lose her, and I didn't want to lose my son.
Yeah.
So it was like, you got to wise up.
Yeah. So what was your first step of wising up?
Rehab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you learn in rehab that made you want to stop?
I learned that if I carry on drinking, it's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
and I can't go back to it because it'll just be shit.
Yeah.
So no, I just learned that I'm an alcoholic, and I've got to spend the rest of my life recovering and not doing that.
Well, fuck yeah. I'm glad you're fucking healthy. Let's go. Killer. So are you hypercritical about yourself?
Nah, not really.
Is it hard for you to like put out new music, or is it hard for you to like?
I've kind of fell out of love with putting out music.
Why?
See, I don't know. It always used to really excite me. And I generally had at least sort of 2 acts going on. Like, I'd be Fatboy Slim, but I'd also be the Mighty Dubcats or Pizza Man. So I was really prolific, and I was a kind of workaholic, and all I wanted to do was make more tunes. And there was tons of ideas waking me up in the middle of the night. I want to do that. And I was really, really prolific for like 20 years. And then around the time I got sober, I fell out of love with making music.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for 30 years, and maybe I've just run out of steam.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm getting too old, but I just didn't wake up with the fire in my belly to do that anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still had the fire in my belly to DJ. And so, so for the last 15 years, I've been DJing and not putting out much music.
And that's fine, I think, because like what's fucked up about social media era is like we have to put out new content all the time. And we always feel like there's so much pressure putting out new content. When maybe like you don't want to like, if you don't have any fuel in the tank, why are we going to just put out something just because it's shit?
Yeah. I don't think that's got anything to do with social media. It's just...
What do you think it is?
Well, I don't feel I want to inflict music on you unless I really think you're going to like it.
Yeah.
And unless I'm confident that it's the absolute shit. You know, it's like the dog's bollocks. It's funny what you said about the internet, because me not making music is sort of coincided with the internet, with social media and the internet. I'm just thinking maybe there's a connection there that I haven't got.
Well, like maybe I'm like, because I'm like, I grew up, I've been doing this since I was 18, doing 250 shows a year, and I'm like you, where I just love to entertain. I love to be on stage, and the pressure that I have to have of making new music and making new content and making new music videos and making all this stuff it just like puts a lot of toll on me, because I feel like I'm forced to do all this shit. When back in the music industry back then was all about just making beautiful art that you believed in. I mean, I wish it was. What's your stake on the music industry now versus in the 90s?
I don't know. It's just changed in the formats of it all, because you're now trying to get streamed or make your living by live. I mean, but when back in those days, you would make your money out of records, and you'd lose money touring, and you borrow money off the record company to lose it, because that was the way you sold records. And now it's completely the opposite way around. Now people give away records so that you'll come and see them live, come and see you live. And I suppose that's played into my hands, because I'm really happy about DJing, and DJing actually pays you a regular thing, whereas releasing records, until recently, since they've kind of sorted the streaming revenue thing out, it was like for a while, it was like records were just like a lost leader that you pretty much gave away so that people would come to your gigs.
Do you think that's devaluing the art of music?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I'm old school. I grew up with vinyl, which is like this sexy thing that you bought and you took home, and you had part of it, and you read the sleeve notes, and you were invested in the act and the music, and it became part of your life. Now it's a lot more disposable, because you just like, I have access. It's like you can stream whatever you want. You don't have to save up your pennies and go to the record shop and buy that record, and you don't feel quite so connected to it. And it's a bit like, for years, but like that people come up to talk to you about what you do, and if they really want to impress that you will, it's not just, I kind of like you. It's like, I'm a proper fan. They go, I've got all your records. They talk to you about the really obscure ones. And now it's like you come up and say, I have access to all your records. It's like, well, everybody's got access to all my records. So that's not. So yeah, I mean, I don't like to bang on about it too much because obviously I come from a different era. But I think I grew up during a golden era for pop music.
Yeah,
I had the excitement of punk rock and start your own band. Doesn't matter if you can't play very well, fuck it, And I had that, and it was when artists were finally getting paid in the 70s and the 60s. You get ripped off by record companies, and it's like we're getting paid, and MTV owned you up to around the world. So I think I lived through a golden age of it, but it's different now. It's there's pros and cons. I think.
What are the cons?
The cons are it's probably way harder to establish as a new musician. I think it's established musicians, you've got your back catalogue, which will go out on streaming platforms, but to get your foot in the door is a lot harder, I think, now.
Yeah.
Unless you're really, really savvy with your social media and really savvy in, there's sort of shortcuts around it. But I don't know, it's maybe I just don't understand social media enough to know how to do it.
Yeah.
It strikes me that new artists find it more difficult to make their voice heard.
Yeah, and like new artists, like the artists that actually pop are actually like better at marketing.
Yeah. I mean, what has changed is like to my, the other day I was talking to someone about my son who's 21 now, and one of our aging relatives, I said, what's Woody doing now? And I'm like, well, he's sort of DJing, but he was on a reality TV show, and he's
your
sort
son?
Of, but he sort of makes his money by, he does stuff on social media and he gets paid. And I'm like, oh my God, my son's an influencer. And it was like, oh Christ, it's like worse than admitting that, and I suddenly realized, fuck, he's an influencer. No, that I didn't want that for my son. There was tons of routes he couldn't go. But yeah, he is. I mean, he does a bit of DJing, but he doesn't pay for his living. He has been on a couple of reality TV shows. He does. He's an influencer.
What advice?
And I'm so ashamed of him. I mean, I love him dearly as my son, but I didn't want him to be an influencer.
What is some of the advice you give a guy or your son who's 21 going into the show business?
Well, I just sound like dad every time because I try and give him, because I've had a career in showbiz, I try and impart some of my wisdom onto him. But when I start saying things to him, all he hears is like, oh, the same dad who was telling me to clear up my room and do my homework is now telling me not to do that. So he doesn't really kind of listen to it. But also I can't, I don't really know, because if he, in the world of influencers, I don't know what on earth he's supposed to do. I can only tell him about DJing because that's what I know. I know what I'm talking about. So I don't know. I mean, what I would say is like actually rehearse enough, practice enough for your DJing to actually be a really good DJ, so you could just be a DJ and you don't have to sell your soul doing fucking likes on
dance
Instagram.
Parties like me.
Yeah. Get a proper job.
Yeah.
But then that reminds me of my parents when I said I wanted a career in pop music. They're like, why don't you get a proper job? So I think it's just a generational thing. You always want your children to do something a little bit more worthy.
Were your parents hard on you?
Yeah, they weren't hard on me, but they hated the idea of me doing pop music.
Why?
Because my dad's brother had been in pop bands in the 60s and he got absolutely ripped off and chewed up and spat out and probably shagged up the arse as well by his manager, And he just thought, he didn't think it was a career. He thought it was something you did and then you just got abused. And it's kind of one level up from being a stripper, I think, in his eyes.
In his eyes.
Yeah, so he wanted me to be a lawyer or something like that, or just any proper job.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with pop music. So all the way through my growing up, he was very proud of me about everything apart from my career choice.
Yeah.
But that kind of spurred me on to do it more.
Yeah, that's the fuel.
Yeah, yeah.
Did he ever say he was proud of you once he saw you like fucking blowing up?
Eventually he had to, yeah.
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 Did you feel like it wasn't genuine?
No, I think we got sort of eventually made our peace. But I remember one Christmas I went back and had a brand new BMW. And he went, nice car.
What year was this?
This is about 86, 87 with the House Martins. And he said, nice car. Where'd you get that from? I'm like, well, I bought it. He said, where'd you get the money? I said, well, you know, this pop career? You know how you saw me on Top of the Pops last week? He said, I didn't think you made that kind of money out of being a pop star. And he honestly didn't think that you could afford to buy
Did that offend you?
No, it made me understand how little he understood about the pop business. Even though I'd had a number one record and been on Top of the Pops, he didn't think I would have earned enough to buy a car out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very proud. Both my parents are really proud of me now, but they still don't quite understand it. They still they'll go to a gig and feel the energy of the crowd and the love that they're showing me and everything. Yeah. They came to the gigs I did on Brighton Beach where there's like 250,000 people there, all going nuts.
Fucking
and
crazy.
At the end of it, you could see them still thinking, yeah, but he's just like playing records and waving his arms around at them. You know, they don't
get that you're doing a whole fucking thing in there. That's insane, dude.
To them it's still just I'm just playing records to them, which I suppose I am. But
So was it like in a way like, you know, deeper inside of you? Because I talk about like like mental health a lot with a lot of my American artists I interview, and then I talk about mental health with some of my UK artists. They're like, mental health, it's like what we push that down, like in a sense. So like, was that like fuel for you that they didn't understand who you are, so you kept going to like prove them wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't classify that under the mental health sort of.
Or just
subject.
like building the anxiety of being successful in front of your parents to make your parents proud.
No, it's the whole point of the wanting to say fuck you to them.
Yeah.
You know,
that's that punk rock.
Yeah, the punk rock thing. I just wanted to make music that they didn't understand and that they found offensive.
Fuck yeah.
And then the fact that they didn't think that was what I should do with my life just made me want to do it and be really successful and go, fuck you.
Yeah,
fuck you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's that age thing. I mean, the mental health side of it is a whole different story. But
what about with your addictions with alcohol? Was it the same type of parallel where like I could do this while being fucked up? Like fuck you. Like was it any parallel with that?
No, I mean, that was probably more about me. I was just having tons of fun and there was free booze everywhere. And it's the one job you can do drunk.
So you weren't suppressing anything for drinking. You're just having fun.
I wasn't suppressing anything, no. Nothing, no stone was left unturned and nothing was suppressed. But with the drinking that I had to, with stopping drinking, I had to take the risk that I wouldn't be able to do my job anymore because it was always fueled by that. And being a DJ, you're always around. And to be honest, I very rarely ever DJ'd sober in my whole life. Mm-hmm. So I was like, when I knew I had to quit drinking, I thought I might have to give up my job as well. I just thought, what
was that heartbreaking?
Yeah, well, it would have been heartbreaking had I had to.
Yeah.
Turns out I'm actually a better DJ when I'm sober. I didn't realize that.
How many years did it take you to realize you were a better DJ sober? Like those first 2 years must have been really hard to adjust.
No, it only took about 3 or 4 weeks, to be honest.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Or maybe I just didn't remember it before.
That's a thing too, though.
Yeah.
So like,
but I mean, the way I look at it was that I put 30 years of hardcore partying into knowing how the party brain works. Mm-hmm. So I think as soon as I get out there, I'm back in that zone. I kind of know how their brain works at that point. So I know how to push the right buttons.
How do their brains work?
You've surrendered yourself to escapism and hedonism, and you just want the noise to take you higher and make you more free from the shackles of your everyday life. And just for the next 2 hours, you want to be sexy and free and irresponsible. And music, certain noises and certain drops and builds can do that. And I kind of got that. I've having walked that walk for 30 years, I kind of know. Yeah, I know where it goes.
So do you remember the first time you felt that, like the puzzle you're building in your shows to build a massive party? Do you remember that first show?
No, the weird thing was, it was when I surrendered myself to instinct. Because the first thing that happened when I started DJing sober was I had this other voice that started talking to me during the gigs, which is kind of my, I don't know, conscience or my conscious self.
Right.
It's going, why are you doing that? Exactly? You know what? And should you be here? You know, at your age, really? And what really are you doing? You're just making a load of squelching noises. Yeah. And making people wave their arms around and, you know,
like belittling.
Yeah. And we're not playing, just questioning it. Oh. And do you want to play that record next? I mean, you sure? Sure that's the right one? And I'd be just having this conversation where I go, just shut up. I'm working. Yeah. And for a couple of months, I had this questioning thing. And then one day I must have had such a good gig that I just said, oh, just shut up. I don't need you. When I'm on stage, you just stay in the dressing room and I don't need you anymore. And ever since then, I kind of surrender that conscious self when I go on stage. And I have this kind of ritual where I put the Hawaiian shirt on, I take my shoes off, and I stop being Norman Cook, who's a responsible father of two, and I become Fatboy Slim, my stupid alter ego, who's completely irresponsible, but very, very intuitive DJ.
It's kind of like an athlete. You know, like everyone has their entrance. They put on they're wearing their clothes that they normally wear. It's like a lot of the greatest athletes have a routine from taking each shoe off differently. Like whatever fucks with the routine to get you back into the norm. Like I have a switch that I do when I'm on stage because I'm pretty mellow. And then when I get on stage, I'm crowd surfing. I drink still, but and yada yada, get in the crowd and taking nitrous and doing just stuff that's definitely not in my element when I'm Andy Frasco talking to Norman. So it's so fascinating. What about when you were drinking? You didn't have to think about that routine. No. It was just like it was there.
It was done. I was just in the moment.
Yeah,
like in the now and then or whatever you call it. I mean it was weird because when I was drinking, I could be so fucked up that I couldn't talk and struggled with walking. But as soon as I got on stage, everything just
adrenaline.
No, I mean,
what do you think it is?
Well, as drinking sometimes means you lose the power of speech. Sometimes you lose your balance or whatever and sense of proportion. But for a DJ, you don't really need those qualities. So when I was DJing, it was just me, the music, and them, and the crowd, and the moment, and the noise, and the excitement. And so it was just working on an instinct.
What about how many voices do you have inside of you? You think
just the two?
What are the two? The one that's always questioning everything. What's the other one?
Well, there's the sensible one and the irresponsible one, basically.
Yeah. What's the sensible? Has the sensible one ever got you out of trouble?
Frequently, yeah.
Yeah.
The sensible one made me stop drinking so I could switch the irresponsible one on and off. And I wasn't irresponsible 24 hours a day.
So when the irresponsible one or the one who questions everything is always in your ear, does the sensible one ever come to talk to you?
No, I leave the sensible one in the dressing room when I go on stage. I mean, to be honest, these days, the irresponsible one only actually comes out for those 2 hours when I'm on stage.
Yeah.
And I put him straight back in the box.
What about like after touring, like after a big old tour, does that the questionable voice question like your life off the stage?
Well, no, because the sensible me doesn't let me go on tour for too long anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, what about back then?
Back then, back then I really had trouble knowing the boundaries of where Norman ended and Fatboy Slim began, and more importantly, the other way around.
Yeah.
So, sort of I was living my life as Fatboy Slim, and
the whole time
Norman was kind of suppressed, and he only came out when Fatboy Slim got told off.
Oh, shit.
Had to go into rehab or something.
Yeah, did that make you sad that Norman couldn't come out as much back then, or were you just too, high to?
Well, no, because Fatboy has a lot more fun than Norman. Norman has to be sensible and think about things and the consequences of his action.
Yeah,
Fatboy just goes fuck it, let's have some fun. Oh. No, of course no. I mean, but therein is the problem. That was why I had to stop. That was why I had to stop.
And then now, do you feel like you have a balance between Fatboy and Norman?
Yeah. I mean, very, very. Like I said, I only get Fatboy out to go on stage or to perform. Probably the greyest areas right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm sort of
You're like almost there. Yeah.
And every time I go to say something contentious or like swear or something, Norman goes, "You sure you want to swear? You sure you want to mention ecstasy?" Oh, fuck it.
What about regarding marketing? Like, when you're marketing Fatboy Slim, was the Fatboy voice in there, or was Norman? Is this like always been a master? You're so good at marketing. All those videos you made, I don't know if you were main part of those, but I assume you were.
Yeah.
Tell me, who's running the ship there, Norman or Fatboy Slim?
Oh, that was Fatboy.
Yeah.
No, I mean, in those days when I was making those videos, Fatboy was running pretty much my whole life. And I can't really take the credit for the videos because it was Spike Jonze and people like that who were making them. But I was finding these people or bumping into these people. Yeah, this is the guy. He's fucking nuts.
Yeah,
he's going to do something. And it's the showbiz bit is got to be Fatboy and that's why I wasn't sure about this, because I'll do podcasts or interviews where I'm Norman, and I'll do ones where I'm Fatboy, and this one's a kind of a bit of both.
Yeah,
because I'm in Fatboy mode because I've got to play tonight, and I'm here to entertain you rather than necessarily speak the truth or sense. You know?
Right. I want you to be.
I think you've got a nice balance of the both.
I think I'm getting it. So, tell me about me and Spike. What was that like?
I was just freaky. It was just.
Were you a fan of him already?
I didn't realise I was a fan. I had no real interest in videos. I didn't really like pop videos, and we were getting to a point where we had to make pop videos. And I was in LA to make the Rockefeller Skank video, and which I wasn't really enjoying the process of, and it was all getting.
Why? What didn't you like?
It was just
about
getting
it?
very expensive and very cliched, and it wasn't what I had wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But we were in LA to film it, and I got into my hotel room. There's a little VHS cassette with a little note saying, "Dear Norm, I saw this guy dancing to your song and thought you might like to see it. Love, Spike." And I put it on, and it was this crazy crackhead dancing to Rockefeller Skank outside the Chinese theatre, doing this really shit breakdancing and bumping into people. And I was like, "Oh God, this is," and so I said to my record company, I'm like, "This is the video we should be making tomorrow, not this overblown, cliche-ridden rubbish." And they went, "You know who that's from, don't you?" And I went, "Spike, this guy called Spike." Is that not Spike Jonze? He did all that. And they told me a couple of videos, and it's like, they're the only videos I've ever liked.
Yeah.
The Daft Punk one with the broken arm, the Björk one where she lifts off in the air, and the Blur one with the milk bottle. And I was like, "Oh, this is..." So I was like, "Can we get him to..." They said, "Well, he can't do this single, but he could do the next one." And so that begat, basically we took that idea and that became the Praise You video. Which
sick.
Just launched my whole career.
It did
around the world, and it was it was just a perfect moment. But Spike had found me, and I thank him to this day for doing that, and for me working out how to make videos that I actually enjoyed the process of. And one of the most important bits was I didn't have to be in the process. I would just find people who had crazy ideas that just didn't take it seriously. Again, coming back to that thing of, I didn't want videos to be like, "Hey, I got all this, I got chicks with big tits." And, It's just like, what's the point?
Well, and it also goes back to like your intuition of partying. It's like when you overthink it, when you just follow your gut and your instinct, you make better stuff. So like you found this video, like, this is it. Fuck this $1 million video that this label is making, and let's put this out.
Yeah, and then the next video, then Spike introduced me to Roman Coppola because he was going out with Sophia at the time, and then Roman said, "Can I make a video?" I said, "Yeah," and his idea was just to blow shit up. He's going with these things, and then we get a toilet, and then we blow that up, all in really like hyper slow motion. I went, "Are we just going to blow shit up?" And he went, "Yeah, blow shit up in slow motion." I'm like, "You're in." Yeah. So that was the next video we did. And then I did 2 with Spike. And then the one he did with Christopher Walken was just genius.
Yeah. What was that like? Christopher.
That was totally Spike. That basically Spike just rang me up one day and he said, "I'm just having dinner with Christopher Walken. He's dropping tons of hints about wanting to get his dancing down on tape while he's still young enough to do it. How about him tap dancing in the next video?" I went, "Yep, fine." He said, "Okay, I'll go in and tell him." And he went in but they scripted the whole thing. I was supposed to do a cameo as the bellhop in the beginning of it, but my wife decided to give birth to our child that same weekend. So I couldn't, so I had no input into that video at all, apart from going yes to Spike when he rang me
Dude,
So I can't say, yeah.
being a DJ and just having this life and not expecting all this stuff. Excuse me. And sorry, that's my Bluetooth. And then all of a sudden you're just swarmed with amazing directors and Hollywood.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was really exciting.
Were you
like,
enjoying the moment, or were you like,
Absolutely.
this is surreal?
I was absolutely on the crest of this wave, just going, whoa.
And you knew you were on a wave, like this
Yeah.
shit's popping.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And for the first time in life, I didn't have to have band meetings with the rest of the band about what we were going to do. I just followed my instincts, and everything. It seemed like it seemed like the more rules I broke and the less seriously I took it, the better it went, which is kind of...
And that's
like
everything
carte
you
blanche.
were inspired by the punk music and by rock and roll.
Yeah, it's just like, let's break some rules, but not just trying to be rebellious for the sake of it, but just being rebellious just to make people laugh and going like, why aren't you taking this seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, thinking about...
But you were taking
about
it
what we
so-
were talking about today about the difference between Fatboy and Norman. The one thing they do both have in common is that they don't take everything seriously. In fact, they don't take much seriously.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite important in my career. And so meeting people like Spike and Roman and Hammer and Tongs and being able to make videos that kind of just took the piss out of me, videos, music, everything. It was kind of very liberating and enormously successful to launch me around the world.
Is it hard? I'm thinking
And
about
finally break America.
Let's fucking go, Norman. Let's go. You know, you say it's like you say the similars of Norman and Fatboy are not taking things too seriously. Did that get you in trouble with the loves of your lives and your kids and stuff?
Oh no, because I think I've always punched above my weight when it comes to partners, and it's probably my sense of humour that it's not my rugged good looks. So I think my sense
You
of
got a
humour
big
is
dick.
probably-
We know it, Norman. It's all good. Big old hog leg.
Sadly not. No, no, because I know it's part of me. I mean, there's things that you do take serious. I'm trying to think what they are, but there are things that, I mean, I take my kids seriously, but then I don't take life seriously with them. I think they admit that I don't take much seriously, and that's probably why they like me as a dad, because I'm funny.
Yeah.
So no, I know. I think that's that. I think
Is that important?
that's what I think. That's one of my traits that's never let me down.
Yeah. That's how it's been too. I never really got too serious about it, and I feel like it keeps me happy and it keeps me grounded.
And it keeps other people around you happy. And then then no one will slag you off if you never take yourself seriously, because they're not like, oh, you told me, you're not real, or you're not living up to, you don't have anything to live up to.
Right.
And it kind of lowers lowers the bar of expectations of you.
Yeah.
Apart from if one day you weren't funny anymore. But then again, you don't, I mean, not even saying I'm funny. I just say I don't take things seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, this has been a blast. Thank you, Norman.
Well, thanks for having it. I've really, when we got the phone call about doing the basketball thing, I was like, that's really nice, because they came to us, they just saw that I was playing and invited me. And the same thing, we were in your town and you extended.
That means a lot,
your hospitality, and I appreciate that.
I'm coming out tonight, and I'm playing Cervantes the same night you are, but in the other room.
Oh, right.
So we're hanging out.
Ooh,
so if
competition.
We're playing after you.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay.
Yeah, no, you're a fucking legend. I'm just a dude dancing to 80s music tomorrow night. So you're good. So is there pressure to play the old stuff when you come back you haven't come back to America, or can you just do whatever the fuck you want? You don't feel like your brain
I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. Most of the time I play references to the old stuff. Mm-hmm. I refuse to go out and play Praise You in its original form, because it doesn't fit with the kind of set, because I play pretty much four on the floor house music these days. So most of my tunes I couldn't play in the original form anyway, because it would just break up the flow of the music. But also after 20 years that it's been, it's like I've just got bored titless of playing them. But you'll hear references. I kind of use remixes of them or whatever, and I like dropping that. But I do every now and then. People kind of go on Instagram and go, I can't see you and you didn't play any of the hits. Well, you did, but just little bits of them. And I just go, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry, life's too short. Yeah. So, no, I mean, there'll be references to the hits, but it's that's one of the things that frees me, and the reason that even at my age, I still love DJing, is because I'm still coming at it as a point of I love music. I love playing other people's music, and I love turning other people on. Like, have you heard this yet? This is great.
Yeah.
Rather than before you were, you go on tour to sell your album. So it's like, if you didn't play your album, then what's the point of going on tour?
Yeah.
Now I go on tour as a DJ just simply to entertain people. I'm not trying to educate you. I'm not trying to sell my new record to you. I'm just coming here to party with you and have fun. And that's,
Are you happier because of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Feels like there's so much pressure. Like, what was your last record? 04?
I don't even know. Eat, Sleep, Rave, Repeat, I think was the last.
And do you feel like there was...
No, this is how serious it is. I can't remember. I must have had ones out since then. I'm looking to my tour manager. The Ladies. Oh, yeah. Oh, you see, this is... Every now and then I'll try and do it. I had one with Dan Eats Everything called All the Ladies, and it came out the week that lockdown started.
Oh my God.
And so we put out a club record the week that the club's shut for a year and a half.
Everyone shut down.
And then that's it. I'm like,
we're done.
I'm going back to DJing. As soon as I'm allowed to, I'm going back to DJing. I'm done with this.
Throwing the towel on fucking records. We're done.
Yeah. And God's trying to tell me something here. he brought this pandemic right on down on us.
What irony?
Just to remind me not to make records anymore.
What irony is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. Don't overthink it.
I mean, the thing is, it took years for me to realise that I'm a better DJ than I'm a songwriter or a bass player or a musician, and I'm happy. I'm happy with that. I'm happy that I'm a good DJ and that I can entertain people, and that's enough. Yeah. I don't need to have.
Did it used to eat you up?
Sorry,
did that used to eat you up that you weren't making good records? In your eyes, because they're probably amazing records to your fans.
I think probably the latter. I mean, the last serious record I put out came out again. God was trying to tell me something. It came out the week I went to rehab. So I wasn't around to promote it, and it didn't do very well. And it was my first kind of flop. And I think part of me just went, this is for fun anymore. I haven't had a flop for a few years, and now the writing's on the wall. And so that was probably part of it. But until then, I mean, that's the thing. Is like when you having hits, if you've had a top 5 hit and then you only have a top 10 hit, then the record company go, ooh, it's like, if you told me 3 years ago I was going to have a top 10 hit, I'd be really, really pleased about it. But now it's seen as a failure. So in a way, I kind of stepping back and allowing myself just to be happy to be second or third best rather than trying to be the best.
That's fucking beautiful.
Viva la Underachiever.
Viva la Underachiever. That's a new record.
That was the working title for You Come a Long Way, Baby.
Really?
All the way through, it was called Viva la Underachiever. But then just before it came out, I just had 3 top 10 records, and someone said, well, "Who is this underachiever that you're talking about?" I think people might not be able to swallow that one, so we changed the title right at the last minute. Because if you look at the fat kid who is on the cover everywhere apart from America, there's this really fat kid with a can of beer in one hand, fag in the other, and a T-shirt that says, "I'm number one, so why try harder?" And that was the original Viva la Underachiever. It's like, fuck it.
Oh my God.
I'll settle for the second best. No, I'll strive for second best, but I'll settle for third.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that's the happier life, like talking about tabloids and stuff and how much pressure it was. Like you weren't even like developing as a human when all you're worried about is like, or not even having a chance to worry about yourself. Cause like every time you went outside, everyone was just in your face, calling you a wanker, or telling you they love your music. You weren't a real human, Sometimes you need to disappear for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've disappeared, or I just took my foot off the gas.
Yeah.
It's like it really felt like I was driving too fast.
Yeah.
And a couple of the corners, it's like, oof, ease off a bit.
Chill.
I just didn't feel comfortable or safe at that speed, so I just took my foot off the gas.
Well, I'm glad you're here, and
and because of that, you're
probably still alive.
I'm still on the road, and I still got my license.
Yeah, let's go, Norman. Thanks for being on the show.
Well, thanks for having me. It's
awesome.
been a pleasure.
Likewise, I can't wait to see your show. I've been so looking forward to this, and I got one last question. It's a 2-part question. What does Norman Cook want to be remembered by, and what does Fatboy Slim want to be remembered by?
Interesting. Fatboy Slim would just be one of you remembered as the stupidest motherfucker you ever had the pleasure of partying with. And Norman would just happy to be remembered. That was, I remember when I was young and people say, you know, like, what are your ambition? I said, there's like an obituary like in a newspaper when I die, rather than just dying and no one cares.
Yeah.
And yeah, just having an obituary in a newspaper when I died, I'll settle for that.
Well, I'm going to write it then, bud. Thanks for being on the show, Norman.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good one. When I don't play, I get buzzed quicker.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you just don't realize it because you're not playing and you're distracted from how buzzed you are.
And we're back.
Yeah.
Nice interview.
Yeah, he's a genius.
He is. And I like how he just bowed out after 2004 when he's like, I don't want to do records. They don't make me happy.
No, I like that.
I like that. That gives me inspiration that I can do whatever the fuck I want.
It helps when you've sold millions of them first to do that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Start
thinking about a concept for your podcast.
People have been sending us snacks.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Whoever's sending us snacks from everything I'm talking about by the podcast.
Yeah.
First off, shout out to you.
Also, we're looking for 2 PlayStation 5s if you guys are going to be sending us gifts.
We would love a place to know. And also shout out for knowing my address. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. I think everyone knows my address in Denver. Because I throw parties here.
So do you think it's someone in Denver sending it to you? There's no return address, right?
I don't know. I have this hinge feeling it might be my mom.
Oh, that's such a letdown.
But I also think it could be a really super fan, which I love.
Well, your mom's a super fan.
She is.
But it's just not as cool if it's your mom, right? It's not as special. Or it is more special?
It's special. When my mom sends me stuff,
That's
it's
a
special.
different kind of special.
But if a fan did it, it's even crazier.
It's weird. Yeah, it's a different kind of special. But it's also weird that they know your address and something you need to think about, probably.
Man.
Not in a mean way. It's like they don't just like can't conceptualize me like going to the post office.
Yeah, I don't.
Imagine me going to Target to get some paper towels.
I sometimes see
Right?
fans at like, Target or Bed Bath Beyond, and I'm just like, my cart only has like M&Ms and beef jerky. they're like, hey, Andy, what's up, dude? I'm like, hey, man.
You're there.
I'll be at Target by myself, like just like grabbing fruit by the foot, and like
I like how you grab it.
I grab, yeah.
Ooh.
I love going.
You grab it like the Grinch steals an ornament off a Christmas tree there. Yeah, exactly. The Grinch who stole Christmas.
I love going.
You love Target?
I love going to stores.
2 PlayStation 5s is what we're looking for. You can get them on eBay. They're a little marked up, but we're doing a great job here, folks. Man,
do you hold grudges?
I don't have any. I do like to hate someone, though. It's fun. Feels good to hate.
Yeah.
Be fun. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you hold a grudge on the person that you got that accident with?
Well, he died immediately, so it's kind of hard to hate someone that's dead.
Oh, the one who did it?
The one who hit us died instantly, so it's hard to have a grudge with him.
Did he was wasted?
He was on meth at like 2 PM on a Friday.
And did it kill your friend?
No, my friend me went to the hospital for a while, but I'm still like a little bit fucked up from it, but he got fucked up too.
Well, explain that.
I worked for a moving company. We were in another city doing like an estimate to try to get a big gig at our apartment complex. This is back when I had a job. I worked for this Israeli guy at a moving company. We're driving back on this 2-lane state road in eastern Indiana. Another car's coming the other way, right? We're driving along, blah, 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 chatting it up. Car pulls out like to pass and hits us like basically head on, and we roll over. I don't know how many times. And then the guy, I don't know what happened to his car. He rolled over too. He was going super fast, like 80 something.
And how fast were you going?
55, because we were going the speed limit.
Oh my God.
And then so I'd be helicoptered to Indy. We were like 45 minutes from Indy. We'd be helicoptered to Indy. I was in the hospital for a while. I couldn't really walk right. My ankles and hips are still fucked up every day. I know, it sucks.
Did anyone almost die in your...
The other guy was in the hospital for... he got some infection from it. Like, you know what I mean? You got like some sort of cut internally. That's really bad. They can get infected. So he was in the hospital for like a month. Yeah, really bad. I was in...
Did you think you're going to die?
Oh, definitely. I was awake for the part. He doesn't remember it. I don't talk to him anymore, but... because he fired me, but
he fired you?
He fired me after that, like a year
what?
later. Yeah, it's a long story, but
were you driving?
I was the passenger.
He drove.
Yeah, it was his company. He owned the company.
And why'd he fire you?
Because whatever, it's a long story. He says this, I say that. You know what I mean?
All right, I got it.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about it publicly because I don't want him to hear it. I don't want to get any publicity. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's and then
So you saw yourself spinning in the
I
car?
remember. He doesn't remember it, and then we spun over and over. I remember spinning over, and then I remember being.
What were you thinking about there?
I remember clearly thinking that this is how I'm gonna die. I was 27. Oh wow, this is how I die. I remember thinking that, and then we stopped rolling, and I was like, holy shit! And I tried to pull myself out of the car, but I thought I didn't realize we were on our side. You don't know. When you stop rolling, you have no clue and then someone pulled me out. I don't know how long it had been. And then I was on the ground because I tried to walk when I got out, but that was impossible. I broke both my ankles. And then like this muscle's 2 muscles now. And I had a seatbelt scar across my body for like a month.
That seatbelt saved your life.
Oh, 100%. The other guy, and then I get helicoptered out. Here's something fucked up. I'm getting helicoptered out, and one of the paramedics in the helicopter, she goes, oh, the driver died instantly. And I thought she was talking about my friend, but she wasn't. The thing is, he doesn't remember, but he was awake after we rolled over because I remember him yelling, and I remember him cutting his seatbelt, and I remember his bone sticking out of his arm. Yeah. Anyway, that was a while ago. And that's basically when I stopped working and decided to just try to do music full time.
What'd you realize?
I was like, I'm not going to sit in this fucking office. I almost died doing this. If I'm going to almost die, I'm not going to fucking be selling moves, you know?
God, Nick, that's horrible.
I know. What a bummer.
I would hate if you died and I didn't get to know you.
I know, but that would have been way before you would have ever met me. So
I know. Then what am I going to do out here in Denver?
I don't know. All the same stuff, basically.
Dance parties without judgment.
No, the judgment's good for you, though. Imagine if you lived with no judgment. That'd be bad for you, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You need a little pushback.
Nick?
Yes. Maybe you should sleep in your bed tonight.
Yeah.
Try it out.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen?
I don't know what it is, but sometimes I don't like sleeping on the bed. I don't know what it is.
It's too normal.
It feels like I have to it feels like I'm
too normal
settling into regular life.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But I feel like, God, it feels so good when you wake up in the morning.
I know, I do feel way better.
Your back's going to be fucked up if you don't.
I don't know. I like stiff.
You like feeling like shit all day?
I don't really. When it's too plush, I'm just like, I'm like groggy. Does that make sense?
I guess. I don't know. You're not used to sleeping.
Do you cuddle?
What do you mean?
Like with your girlfriend, like right before you go to bed? Like,
none of your business.
Why not?
Because.
Does she like hold on to you? And
I will not be collected, Andrew Frasco.
Does she?
I will not speak about my girlfriend in that way on this podcast. Nothing will be revealed.
What about like sweet?
You will never look behind that door.
I just think you
check door number 1, Frasco. There might be something for you behind that one.
I just think I
will not be collected, Andrew Frasco.
I think.
Stop. You will never do it.
I'm going to find some photos of you and her.
There are no photos of us.
Really?
We don't exist. You will never perceive my relationship in any way.
Do you ever give her flowers?
It doesn't matter, does it?
It does.
The people don't need to know about that. None of it is any of their business. This is my private relationship, and I will not be collected.
Hey, will you give me a pep talk to get me out of this funk?
Okay, why are you in a funk? You have a fantasy life. You have no real problems. You live in a massive home in the great part of Denver. When I walked up, you had servants sweeping the snow.
Shut the fuck up.
Not servants. What are those people? Landscapers. Shoveling snow for you because you're from California and you can't be bothered to shovel 18. Just shut up. What are you in a bad mood about? You're going to New York tomorrow for fun to make a music video, and then you get to go to sunny Tampa Bay in the height of winter to play for a bunch of adoring fans for a pre-party for a festival you're going back for in 3 weeks. You got 2 gigs this weekend and they're not even the same weekend. Shut up.
I love you.
God.
Thank you. That's all I needed. That's all I needed all day.
Just stop being depressed.
I don't know. Some days you wake up depressed.
Stop it. Well, don't be depressed about your life. If you're just depressed because you like have a chemical imbalance, that's one thing. But
maybe that's what it is. I did go hard all weekend.
Yeah, maybe you need to tone it down a little bit.
I went to bed yesterday.
Roller coasters come down too, man.
I know. I've been going to bed. I've slept on the couch twice.
Go to your fucking bed and sleep in your fucking bed. If you sleep better in your bed,
I know.
You'll have dreams. You'll wake up rested.
I know.
Coffee will make you feel better instead of get you back to zero.
I'm excited to go to New York. You pump me up. I'm excited about my life.
Yeah, you should be.
Wow. It just takes that.
People work at Amazon warehouse in Des Moines, Iowa. You know what I mean?
I get why people like subscribe to like Tony Robbins and shit now.
Oh, I don't like that guy. He creeps me out.
It's the same thing you just did to me.
Yeah, but I'm not asking you for money.
Not yet. Pay up.
I'm about to invoice you for that one. I'm about to hit you with that Humphreys McGee invoice.
I hit you up with that Humphreys McGee invoice. Have a great day. Enjoy Fatboy Slim.
God. I can't decide whether to
What?
walk down the stairs or jump off the balcony right now.
It's only 2 floors. You only break your ankles again.
I already did that, so whatever.
Have a good day.
Bye. That's a good one.